mental issues, mental health in the church. Now, last week, we approached it, we talked about the spiritual aspect. Remember that we are triune beings. We are body, mind, and soul. We talked about the triune nature and the spiritual aspect concerning spiritual oppression and spiritual oppression. Oppression and possession. There we go. We talked about demonic oppression and possession. And this week, we're going to get this today. We're going to get into actual mental issues in the church. What, who, what, where, when, why, and how do you deal with them, and how do you handle the C's, the issues, the psychotics, I all of a sudden I can't come up with any of the mental terms.
The differing dynamics.
Oh my goodness, there he goes. He's just showing that degree all up in the world. The differing dynamics. Well, how do you handle that when somebody has true mental issues? Depression. You know, depression's the number one cause of, well, pretty much everything when it comes to our lives. Depression. We drink too much. We're depressed. We talk too much. We're depressed. It's all depression. And we're in the church and we're depressed.
Yeah.
Okay. Preacher preaching, choir singing, musicians are playing, and we're sitting there just as broken as the vase we threw against the wall last night.
So the question is this: why do people come to church to begin with?
Well, that's not just the $64,000 question. That's it.
When the church doors open, the church is there, and I know some people don't particularly ascribe to this, but the church is there as a hospital. It's there to attend to those who are sick, be it spiritual, mental. We have to be very careful dealing with people with the physical, because number one, if you're not a medical doctor, then there are certain things that we should refer to someone who is a healthcare professional when it comes to the mental illnesses that are in the church. We need to be aware that there are other professionals outside of the pastorate, outside of the preacher, that deal specifically with those areas. If someone is suffering from mental illness, be it schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, depression, and the list goes on, that we refer them to someone who is in the psychology field, and not try to take on more than what we are capable of.
Unless we want to make a complete and total mess of the situation.
Well, we set ourselves up for a huge lawsuit, is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But one of the things you said, and we're just going to jump right in it, being aware enough to know, being smart enough to know what it is we don't know, and handle what it is we can't handle. It's not right to think that we're prepared. We know that seminary. Now, God bless you. You went and you got your papers and stuff. This is not a slam against you. Don't take it as such. We know that seminary does not prepare you for pastoring.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. No. Being an assistant pastor, a junior pastor, does not prepare you for pastoring. As a matter of fact, the only thing that prepares you for pastoring is God calling you to be a pastor and then equipping you to be such.
And those other areas help in your equipping. I would recommend to anyone who wants to go into the ministry, let alone the pastorate, that if you believe that you're called by God to to the ministry that you go to school, that you get beyond what you got in Bible study, beyond what you got on Sunday morning. You need to go to school. And even in going to school, that does not make you, well, let's put it another way. There are many pastors out there who assume that they are an expert in every area. But what you really are is a jack of all trades and a master of none.
And that particular statement has always plagued me. I thank God that I've been allowed to obtain master status in at least one aspect of my life.
Well,
I am, as you already know, a master technician.
yes.
Okay. I have the papers, the credentials. I went through the testings. I have a master's. I am a master technician certified by the state of Massachusetts. Now, that means absolutely nothing
When it comes to the pastor.
when it comes to the pastorate. Not a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm a sound engineer. I'm fair to middling at it. I'm pretty decent when it, truth be told. I think in terms of wires and plugs and knobs and solving the problem. None of that has anything to do with the pastorate.
No.
Okay? I'm a survivor. I can fight. I don't want to, but I actually know how now.
You're pretty good at it.
I'm pretty good at it. I'm still here. And the 6 people who attacked me at once discovered he wasn't going out like that.
Yeah.
But that
Does not
prepare me for the pastorate.
So, first, the pastor has to be aware of his own limitations. And I know we have a tendency to rely, or at least declare that we're relying on God for direction and for understanding. And quite frankly, if God is giving you understanding, if God is truly leading you, he will lead you in the right direction. Okay? That's the first thing. And when you adhere to the will of God, to the word of God, to the Spirit of God, he will let you know there's something wrong here beyond what your scope is. Well, why don't you just lay hands on them and pray for them? You can lay hands on them. You can pray for them, but they still need a psychiatrist.
Yeah. And
Still need some professional counseling that is beyond your scope. They very well may need some medication, and you're not authorized to prescribe them anything. So let's not play games with the lives of the people we're responsible for. Okay, I'm not a mechanic. I don't pretend to be one. Okay, I can change a tire. I can change oil. There are certain minor things about a car I can do without a problem. But if it has anything to do with the engine or the transmission, I'm not that guy. Okay, and I can lay my hands on my car and pray for it all day. It's not going to fix it until a mechanic gets to it.
Pastor, Bishop, I just heard you stand up in front of the congregation this past Sunday and proclaim loudly, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't this past Sunday, but I've said it multiple times. Okay. And that is a statement of fact. And because of that statement, God has given me the wisdom, the understanding, the spirituality to know that putting my hands on the car and praying for it is not going to do it. That the same hands I would use to lay my hands on the car and pray, he gives me enough understanding to pick up my cell phone and dial a mechanic.
See, and I'm not trying to be trite with this.
I know. I'm not either.
But the reality of it is we have got to stop thinking in that realm, because that becomes a trap and a trick of the enemy. Not letting you know that you don't know this. The disciples who were empowered, who were sent out, the disciples who Jesus sent out, encountered a man that had a spirit, a demonic spirit, and they had dealt with this before. No problems. They couldn't cast it out. And this seemed to fly in the face in what they were told.
And what they had already been doing.
And what they'd already been doing.
And what was Jesus' reply?
Grasshopper, these come out only through fasting and prayer. Meaning that your relationship is the key to this one, not your understanding. I have a relationship with my wife that I, to this day, don't understand.
Good.
I have a relationship with you, with Bishop, and with the leader of this church. I haven't got a clue why, because every time I think I know why, it ain't.
Relationships develop over time. But when we're dealing with individuals with mental illness, there are varying degrees. Some are quite severe. Some are less severe. You don't deal with someone who is on the verge of committing suicide or even murder the same way you deal with someone who just lost a puppy. Okay? They both may come in tears. They both may come complaining about some things. But when someone is suicidal, you have to be very careful and very watchful and lead that individual in a way, or counsel that individual in a way that brings them down off of that ledge, gets them out of that dark, dark place. And if it's beyond you to do that, it's real important for you to be loving, to be kind, to be understanding, not judgmental. Okay? And have someone that you can refer that individual to and say, listen, I'm not going to leave you, but I have someone that can help you with this. I have someone, I have a resource. But I'm going to stay here and I'm going to be at your side until that help comes. And if it's all right with you, let's pray.
And if they say, I'm not here for all that spiritual, I'll just say nonsense.
Okay. That's fine. Then we'll sit here. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
I don't want to talk about nothing.
Okay.
I mean, why you ask me if I want to talk? I mean, you just want to tell me about your Jesus, and I don't want to hear it. I got issues, man.
No, we don't have to talk about Jesus.
But why did Jesus allow this to happen to me? Doesn't he know how much I love him?
I'm sure he does.
Then why did he let this happen? You know, you talk about how good God is, but I loved her, and we were together 20 years, and it wasn't great, but it was comfortable, and for no reason he took her, or she died. Whether he took her or not, she died. That's not right. That's not fair. Where is the love of God?
That's a part of life.
That's a part of life. Man, don't make me hit you over here, a part of life.
Dying is a part of life.
But why her? What? I mean, come on. Tell me why God took her.
I don't have that answer for you.
Then what are you doing here?
Listening to you.
Why are you listening to me?
Because you need to be heard.
I'm not worthy of being heard. I miss her.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. We all have someone we miss. But pain is a part of our lives as well. It's my hope that we can find a way that you can cope with this kind of pain. That you can deal with this kind of pain. And it doesn't mean that you have to forget your loved one. It doesn't mean that you have to block them out of your mind. But when you think of them, you think of the good times. And instead of it causing you to cry all the time and wanting to end it all, but it'll put a smile on your face because you had some richness in your life.
Oh, we did have some good times, man.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
Man, I remember, man, when we were younger, there wasn't a room in the house that was safe.
Yeah. Sweet days.
Yeah.
That should... See.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Oh, sorry. You're on the air, but you're not on the phone. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
It's Mrs. Nussbaum.
Yeah, we don't want to talk to her this morning. We into something heavy.
Good morning, Brother Dan.
How are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Sound Travels is pleased to present to some and introduce to others my brother from another mother. He's whiter than Casper's ghost, the only living twin I have, Brother Dan Vale.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Well, we into it.
Good morning.
We into it this morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm a few minutes late, but
Yeah, you're right on time.
the coffee is soon to kick in.
We were just going through a scenario, dealing with someone or enacting out someone who is in a suicidal mindset, and how we can minister to that individual, literally without using the name of Jesus, because of their offense to even that. But we still have to approach them or deal with them lovingly, with a compassionate heart and with sensitive ears to hear them and to let them know that they are not only heard but seen and not judged.
Mm-hmm.
And while at the same time we can do all of those things and in our own hearts be prayerful. We don't necessarily have to lay hands on them and pray out loud and begin to speak with tongues. We can pray in our heart and at the same time minister to them through open ears.
It takes time sometimes when we see the symptoms of a mental condition. Person that has the condition may or may not see it. They may or may not be aware of what's going on inside them.
Mm-hmm.
So in cases like that, we just need to be there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Sound Travels is pleased to present to some and introduce to others the heart of Sound Travels. Nearer, my God, to thee, Chaplain Nera, ably assisted by the Wolf.
Good morning, my sister and my brother.
So, Wolf is not here with me this morning. I'm actually on the road driving.
Okay.
Okay.
So he is at home right now. He's going to attempt to call in through the website.
Oh, this ought to be good.
We'll see how that works out.
We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, technology is not his friend, so we will.
So you missed it. We had a bit of a scenario. It got a little real there for a minute.
Yeah. Well, that's
All right.
That's how I teach.
Yeah. We had a scenario concerning how to deal with a person who is suicidal, basically over loss. We are dealing with, last week, we are, as I said earlier, we're triune beings, body, mind, and soul, or body, mind, and spirit. I'm not arguing with those people that want to say. And last week, I believe we dealt very thoroughly, as much as possible within the time, with the spirit aspect. Today, we're dealing with the nuts and bolts of depression. What exactly it is, how does it manifest itself, and what do we do about it? We've accepted the fact that we don't know every doggone thing. And just because we're pastor, just because we're evangelist, bishop, whatever. It doesn't qualify us to take out our junior erectus set psychology thing and start trying to help these people who have come to us within our church body.
Well, you can start to help. You can initiate the conversation so that you can get an evaluation as to how severe the depression or the anxiety is. You can start it, but once it gets to a point where you recognize it's beyond your scope, it's beyond what you're called to do. You have to have a professional and be able to refer a professional to these individuals, because you can cause greater damage as opposed to helping them.
Oh, yeah.
Now, and then we haven't got to the mental issue of the person that just wants to destroy.
Yeah.
There are people out there that see it and they want to kick it down. They want to burn it down.
Explain that.
There was a warlord who was in a foreign country, and when the people who came to his village wanted the rights to the minerals that were on his land, and they offered gold and fancy things, and the warlord just killed them.
Mm-hmm.
Just killed them. And all of the fancy things they offered, the next day when you went there, you saw the kids playing with them and wearing them, and it meant nothing to the warlord. Some people just want to burn it all down.
Oh, you mean narcissist?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can we bring it home?
Yeah, let's bring it home.
Let's bring it home. Charleston, South Carolina. Mother Emanuel AME Church. The pastor is Reverend Clemente Pinckney. He's holding a Bible study with at least 8 other people. There are others in the building, but it was him and 8 other people in that Bible study. And a young man comes in, sits in with them, and his intent is to start a race war. Subsequently, he shoots and kills 9 people in that church. Is there anything that could have been done differently?
Probably not.
Hindsight being 2020 and also being completely useless in these situations. That's one of the toughest ones out there. Because what if somebody had, when he came in and sat down, somebody had sat next to him and talked to him and said, hi, why, thank you for coming. We're here for you. Do you want to talk? We have counselors. We have people. Can I get you a cold drink? Can I, some one-on-one contact maybe. If I understand the scenario, he came in and sat down and nobody approached him.
I don't know that to be true.
Okay.
I don't know that to be true. I am aware that he sat in the Bible study.
Right.
And a Bible study of that size, we don't spread out across the church.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a more personal setting.
You do realize you're delving into why the bad things happen to God's people. I didn't say good people because no such thing. The premise of the book is wrong, which is why the advice in it is faulty. Why do bad things happen to good people? The premise is wrong. No, there are no good people. But I understand what he was going for.
That's semantics, and I don't care about that. Bad things happen to all of us.
Exactly.
Both good and bad. And as a preacher of the gospel, well, we will have situations to come up. Well, people will entreat us. They'll seek us out for one reason or another. But we have to be in the frame of mind, prayerfully, for sure, operating in the gift of discerning of spirits, please, and be aware enough of situations that are beyond our abilities. Be aware of them. Okay.
Well, that's the key right there. And how much healing is really going on in the church?
People keep coming back. And in today's church, let's be real honest about this. People are leaving because they've been coming and they have not gotten what they need. Okay. Mega churches across this country and around the globe are folding up. Neighborhood churches are closing because people are failing to come. They're failing to attend because the church has not met their need.
The church doesn't meet their need because their need is not prominent in the church's bylaws, the church's ideas. The pastor's vision doesn't take the individual into consideration. The pastor's vision may be a bigger sanctuary, 100-person choir.
Their healing doesn't look good on camera.
The healing doesn't look good on camera.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sell healing. You can't sell. You can. It's amazing to me that we can sell false, created, made up pain, but we stay away from real, actual brokenness.
It's easy. It's easy to create an entertaining atmosphere. All you need is the right lighting, the right music. You say the things that people think they want to hear, and send them home feeling euphoric. But by the end of the day, their pain is still there. Their hurt is still there. Their disappointment still
The brokenness
is still
there.
The disappointment is enhanced because the people who were searching for an answer reached out to what they think is God, and he wasn't there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we wonder why so many people are turning to other religions or the occult or other things, because at least they have support and they get some kind of answer. Not that it's helpful, but that's why we see a lot of people leaving churches. We don't see younger people coming into churches because the church hasn't helped. And I would suggest, on the topic of mental health, there is a phenomenal book called The Body Keeps the Score.
Mm-hmm.
It is basically a research study over the last 60 years or so on post-traumatic stress and anxiety, depression, a lot of the stemming things that cause our mental health issues. And it talks about the very real nitty-gritty things that cause depression, anxiety, PTSD, etc. And I'll tell you, that book rocked my world. And
it's a good book.
Phenomenal. And I honestly think it should be on every pastor's bookshelf. Because it gives you that very real scenarios and ideas, because it's made from the research of real people and what they've gone through. And it gives you ideas on how to help. And
say the name of that book again.
It's The Body Keeps the Score.
Yeah. The Body Keeps the Score. And
I would actually say a secondary book to that is a book called Why Does He Do That? And it is a book about narcissism, because trauma presents itself in one of two ways. Usually you either become the victim or you become the oppressor. I mean, you don't really have a third option, necessarily. And once you've acknowledged which one you've become, then you can actually start healing.
Yeah.
But you can't start healing until you acknowledge which one you've become.
Yeah.
Because if you're the toxic person, but you're playing the victim is never going to get you healed, because that's not actually what you're doing. And so I genuinely believe people should read both of them. And it's not because they're, they don't cover everything in them and they're not, spiritually whatever, but it's like, no, they're very practical books on stuff that has happened to real people.
Yeah.
And dealing with people, once you know if they're a victim or the oppressor, getting them the right kind of help is very important. Because if you just say, oh, well, go see this counselor, go see this, psychiatrist or psychologist, they all do very different things. Yeah. And so pastors and chaplains and counselors should have a basic idea of what kind of help is out there. And I would go a step further on finding good help in your area to send people to, because it's not going to do them any good if you send them to a crap psychologist or someone who's just going to push meds on them, or just say, oh, well, here, try this Reiki to help you, or, no, you need a good counselor or psychologist or psychiatrist to help out. And so do your research. As an individual, do the research on who is good in your area, because sending people to crap ones ain't going to do them any good.
No. You're absolutely right. But let's delve in for a moment, because most of our mental health issues come from a myriad of areas. Trauma of one degree or another. Sometimes it can be childhood trauma. It can come from an accident, a severe accident causing blunt force trauma to the brain or to the skull. It can be from what we would say is a chemical imbalance in the brain. But then we face these organic things like the death of a loved one, divorce, the death of a child.
Yep.
Many of us are blessed to say that I've never really been hungry and couldn't get a meal. But how many of our sisters and brothers are out there and they're rummaging through a trash can for their meal?
Yeah.
We have to look at the homeless condition, not having a sufficient place to sleep that's safe and secure. All of these things play a major role in mental health.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Things like that can be both the symptom and the symptom that takes on a life of its own, and you would be suffering mentally, emotionally, spiritually if you lost your home. If you were having to sleep out there. Some people are sleeping out there because of the mental issue.
Yep.
Then the situation enhances it and it snowballs.
Yeah. And I didn't mention this, but I think it's worth saying. Many of our veterans are homeless, and they suffer from PTSD, and the Veterans Administration hospital just isn't giving them the proper care that they need.
I'll be spicy for a moment and say that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a society, we live under a system that specifically wants to keep the population of the particular geographical area in which they preside over, they want to keep them from having the ability to rise up against them when they make decisions we don't like. And that starts with our military. Because why would you want a population of armed, knowledgeable individuals who are healthy and capable to see something that they don't like happen? You don't want them to be able to have the ability or the physical or mental capabilities to rise up against you. That's the point. And that's not just our country, that's most countries.
Around the world.
That's not just other countries, that's also our country. Now, I love the United States. I am, thank God, every day that I live here. And, all the stuff with the World Cup and seeing people from other countries come here and enjoy the things we get to enjoy, seeing the wonder and the beauty of it is fantastic, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But we are definitely not the kingdom of God. And therefore we are faulty. And we fail.
Yeah.
And we have made choices in the past and the present and will in the future to bring in leadership that is not good for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it goes. That's just a fact of life.
Yeah.
And to keep your people in pain, unhealthy, to keep them living in a system that is broken is going to continue to create trauma. And eventually we're all just cattle in the giant machine that is progress. Because statistics proved in 2020 that 90% of people in America are 2 to 3 paychecks away from homelessness and death.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but that's pretty anxiety-inducing to me.
Of course it is.
And so it's not even we also have to look at the perceived, and that's where the anxiety comes from. Depression typically comes from a mental standpoint of the things that are currently happening to you. PTSD is stuff that already happened to you. Depression is current, anxiety is future. I mean, if you break it down, it's obviously more involved than that.
Yeah.
But a very basic description is anxiety is the future, depression is the present, PTSD is the past.
And all of it affects us.
Oh, yeah, big time. I mean, I can't tell you how much anxiety I have on a weekly basis of, oh, gosh, are we going to be able to pay the bills? Are we going to have a place to live at the end of the month if we can't or can pay rent? And that's ridiculous. For a family of 4 who makes good money, I mean, we don't make something to sniff at, but we work part-time because we can't physically work more due to physical health issues. But even at the end of the day, even when we do make a good paycheck, it's like, okay, well, that doesn't mean we can pay the rent and still fix the car and still put food on the table and pay that bill that just popped up and pay, and we don't have a lot of what most normal median households consider necessities. My family does without those things, and my kids don't like it because we don't have a lot of the comfort. But it's like, you know what? We have a roof over our head and food in our bellies, and that's enough for me.
Yeah.
The interesting thing that's happening to me that I'm watching happening on the scene with the World Cup, and you're hearing it, but you're not hearing it. The people that shouted loud about how bad America is suspiciously quiet on all of these people who are coming in and just reveling in what America truly has. And we take for granted. Now, granted, I don't know how many times in my lifetime that I've heard a bar run out of beer.
They ain't never met shots, let me tell you.
Okay? And not just one bar,
but multiple.
Multiple bars in Boston drank dry of beer. In their country, they can't do this. The concept of drinking that much beer doesn't even enter their mind. What we take for, what we throw out. The homeless population lives on trash cans.
Yeah. And some of them live quite well.
And thank you. Let's be honest. Some of them live very well.
Well, you got to take in mind that, and these are just a few, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Chipotle, just to name a few. At the end of the night, just before they close, they throw out the food that's not sold.
They have to.
Okay.
And all these, and I know people who said to me, dude, you can live well. Find yourself a decent restaurant, know when they're going to throw the food out, be there when they open the door, and they'll give it to you.
Yep.
It never touches the trash can. They'll give it to you. And we take that for granted. And the whole world who is coming to America right now goes, who are these people reporting about? What we see here is so far beyond what we were told America was about. Where is the America that the different broadcast units talk about, the hate and the fact that the blacks and whites are at each other's throat on a constant basis and don't go to Dorchester? You know how many times I was told to stay out of South Boston when I first moved up here? You know how many times I was told not to go to the combat zone, but if you want to go to the combat zone, not let me know, we'll go down, but don't go there. I went to high schools worse than the combat zone. Seriously. I'm from Cleveland. I went to high schools worse than the combat zone.
I know we are deviating just a little bit, but it'll bring us back. What is making the World Cup such the phenomenon that it is?
The fact that the world has been told a lie about America.
Yes.
And
Yes.
once these people get here, they see a level of freedom, a level of prosperity, a level of abundance that they have never experienced
In their own countries.
In their entire life.
Let me take you a little bit further.
They've been told that
They've been told that it doesn't exist.
These people are coming from countries from around the world.
Yeah.
And they're staying in hotels. They've booked flights. They've bought tickets to as many games as they can attend. That's the World Cup. But we also have here the NBA, the NFL. We have Major League Baseball. We have the National Hockey League. We also have boxing, UFC, WWE. And people will spend the money. Why? What are they getting?
They're getting something that they never knew they could have. See,
They're getting entertainment.
It's what?
Entertainment.
Entertainment. It's a break from their reality. A moment away from their daily pressure, a moment away from the anxiety that's been ruling their life. And for that moment during the course of that game or that event, they actually feel free.
Yeah.
And all the while,
in some cases, they actually feel something.
Yeah.
All the while, they were told it doesn't exist. What America has become in the eyes of the people that are actually seeing it is a phenomenal thing. It's the America that we already know and we take for granted. It's like watching a baby for the first time go out into the snow. Do you ever watch a baby when they did that? Mm-hmm. It's amazing. It is one of the cutest things in your life. For them, and they just stand there in awe and wonder, and the snow is coming down. Mm-hmm. And for us, we got to shovel it. We got to drive in it.
Yeah. I hate to be a wet blanket here, but I've been fortunate enough to travel to several countries around the world. And it always amazes me, you can tell who the tourists are. Okay? But I make it a point when I go to these different countries, I go to where the people live. And the tourist area is pristine, it's clean, it's safe, everyone's having a good time. But when you go to the neighborhoods, you see a different country. And people attend these events like the World Cup, like the NBA Finals, like a WWE wrestling match. And for that moment, they're free. But they have to go back to where they actually live.
Yep.
And it's not always pretty. It's not pristine. And they're having to deal with life. And that life presses on them heavily. And that is where the church is failing. Yep. The church is failing there because the people who are suffering the most, the church has exploited. And I do mean organized religion. There's some pastors out there, there's some churches out there that are actually doing the heavy lifting. But they're becoming fewer and farther between.
Yeah.
We're dealing with mental illness in the church, and it gets overlooked. It gets misunderstood. It doesn't get diagnosed. And people keep coming, hoping that one day they'll be seen.
Yeah.
One day they'll be heard.
One day.
One day the pastor won't just come, lay hands on them, and say a few huckabucks and move on to the next person. All the while, the ushers are there to take your offering.
Well, let's leave out the huckabucks. Let's leave out all that other stuff and get to where it really is. When people came to Jesus, or when he went to them, they had a need.
Mm-hmm.
And their need, many times, and I must say this, many times, not all the time, was met. Why? Because Jesus did not come to simply heal the body. He came to heal your soul. He came to give us access to heaven when we didn't have it. He came and gave his life not so that he could walk on water and become a celebrity. No, he did that as a vehicle for our access to glory. And the church is getting away from that message.
Yeah.
Because
most of the time, God didn't change their external situation.
Didn't.
He changed an internal thing, which then changed their external.
So
I can give you a really good example.
But hold up on that really good example, because we have just a minute left of this segment. We're going to come back at this. Trust me, we're not done. I'm